Now I'm apparently podcasting on loud insect noises. Los Angeles business owners using loud insect noises to deter homeless encampments. Remember when we had the fog machine for people breaking in to businesses? Remember when we had 7-Eleven managers pouring motor oil outside of the 7-Eleven so people wouldn't lie down? Well, and then we had classical music was one of the things that a bunch of different businesses were doing. Play really loud classical music. Well, now we've got insect noises. What's that look like? Let's get into it. Here we go.
All over Southern California, homeowners and the homeless are living beside each other, sometimes as uneasy neighbors. KCAL's Lori Perez introduces us to a Santa Monica man who's created a non-aggressive way for people to protect their property and themselves.
And I'm remembering it now, Lori, looking into the face of a 2-year-old, and she's catatonic and shaking. It tears your heart.
That was the moment Stephen McMahon says he knew he had to do something. The garage behind the Santa Monica condos, where he's head of the HOA, was plagued by scenes like this. People who are homeless looking for hidden places to use the bathroom or do drugs.
There you go. All right. I'll just go right here.
Getting in or out of their cars. So
should be fine for the ecosystem.
Learning everything he could about circuit boards and converters, tinkering for months to make this, the Blue Chirper, what he calls diversion security. He's installed 2 versions in the garages. They hook right into the electrical box. When a motion detector senses someone nearby, a blue light, like the ones DMV uses, starts flashing, and the chirping begins. And it won't stop until the person is gone. He checked with legal experts about how far he could take it.
She's as long as it's a sound found in nature, a cricket, and it's an accurate, rendition of a cricket. Also, it's really hard to find a vein.
That's an annoying sounding cricket. Let's be honest, that is a really annoying sounding cricket. If I had to listen, that is not, I wouldn't really say that's a cricket. I would say that's more of a metal on metal kind of noise, right? It's annoying, but I like it. I mean, these are the depths to which people have sunken in order to protect what is theirs. This is a condo. This is a guy who's the president of the HOA, right? He's freaked out, not only for himself, because he lives there, but for the other owners within the condominium project. And what do we have to do to keep the homeless away? Because leadership, police, nobody else is going to help you. But you know what? Hey, go ahead and vote for Gavin Newsom in 2028. It should work out fine. You could, get your Blue Chirper and keep those homeless away. Yeah. Let's keep going.
If you've got an intense blue light blinking, it does something in your eyes so you can't see blue very well, so you can't find a vein to shoot up.
The combo works.
I'm sorry. What in the world? Let's hear about it. We've got to play that again. What are we even talking about here?
Intense blue light blinking. It does something in your eyes so you can't see blue very well, so you can't find a vein to shoot up.
The combo works. Remember these guys? When they couldn't figure out how to stop the noise and lights, they left.
He comes and it's got a chirper. See, and they leave. The word is spread because we're getting less and less and less of these.
Neighbors see it as a non-aggressive way to get people to move along, and also a signal for them if there is someone there. Corey Greenwell says for his family, it's been nothing less than
a total reinvention of our life in that building by doing something as simple as being able to park and being able to go out to our car without fear.
Now McMahon is building Blue Chirpers for the church across the street, the buildings next door, and has requests piling up. At the moment, he's charging $500 each, but says with investors and a mass production plan, he could.
Let's look at that for a second. All right, so there's your light up. No, that's your motion sensor, isn't it? That's your motion sensor. You got some kind of relay over here. Yeah, you got a relay. You got what is that? A some kind of fuse wiring coming off the power source. Back here, is that a speaker? I think that's a speaker. And then over here, I am no, electrician or engineer or anything like that. I'm just calling out a bunch of stuff as I see it here. But it looks to be pretty basic stuff. The other one had a small tube as well. I don't know. That's just got to be to wiring in there. Don't know. But it looks like it's pretty basic stuff. And just needs to be able to tell when somebody's in there, starts chirping and does the blue light. It's kind of ingenious. But what this does is this does not solve the homeless issue. It just creates one more layer where you're pushing somebody elsewhere. Because now, if you don't have the chirper, you're fair game for anybody to come by because they're getting kicked out of, Jimmy's condo down the street because they've got the blue chirper. Doesn't really solve anything. But what it does is it's a pushback on the homeless deal, and areas that are not pushing back in some way, shape, or form, they're just going to get inundated because it's a whack-a-mole game. You push them out of here, they're going to go here. Push them out of the blue chirper zone, they're going to go to the non-blue chirper zone. Wild stuff.
Down to under 150 for peace of mind.
The 84-year-old woman in the back, she used to have to call me to go down to her car. Now she doesn't call. She says, I just go down to my car. If I happen to hear the chirper on, I just wait a few minutes because I know he's going to leave. And then I just go in my car and she said, because they're gone.
And so
people are prisoners of their own homes, in their own homes, because leadership has failed so badly in California, that these are the desperate lives that people have. We're hearing a guy talk about it. This is a retired guy. He's got the blue chirper because there's huge demand for it. Again, not a long-term solution, but a short-term solution that produces results for those willing to pay for it, for those willing to install it. How many of these things are just some mental drug addict is just going to destroy? And then, you're going to find not only the homeless dude without his pants on who's taking a crap, destroyed your blue chipper, and he's all passed out. How many of that's just going to happen as well. So it's not hey, this is great, let's all get a blue chirper. I keep saying chipper. It's actually chirper, blue chirper. Yeah.
Santa Monica, Lori Perez, KCAL News.
Here's another example of homeless deterrent, 7-Eleven using a high-pitched noise. Check this one out.
Widespread homelessness in downtown Portland is affecting some businesses harder than others.
Now, the 7-Eleven along Southwest Taylor and 4th Avenue is now taking matters into their own hands with sound. Elise Haas spoke with managers to find out what's going on.
Outside the 7-Eleven in downtown Portland is a hot spot for homeless
Portland.
to camp out.
Like 10 people.
Oh, this is the 7-Eleven that I stepped over the homeless dude who had literally crapped his pants right out here. That is that 7-Eleven. We walked around the block from down here. And we literally stepped over there, my son Brennan and I, after we covered having a lot of memories. After we covered the riots during the pandemic. This was the 7-Eleven where the guy was crashed out right here and he had pooped his pants and there was poop it's just, It's like, okay, Brennan, let's go. And my son's looking down and, that's not good. No, it wasn't. But, we were driving back to Seattle. It's a 3-hour drive and we needed some caffeine. It was early in the morning. We were getting going. Homeless guy or not, it's Portland. It's what you do. Let's keep going here.
Like 10 people, like blocking the whole sidewalk.
Yep.
The storefront at the corner of Southwest Taylor and 4th is littered with trash and needles. Managers at the 7-Eleven tell us it's become a chronic health and safety issue.
And that 7-Eleven is now closed, and it's been closed, I think, for a couple of years now. It didn't make the cut. You know what I mean? It didn't make the cut.
Shooting stuff into their veins, like right sitting outside on the sidewalk. And Nobody do nothing about it.
Employees say 911 police response to crime takes too long, and the action from the city is too little.
But there's a lot of incidents where they harass customers, like walking out, like, hey, give me change. They didn't give you change. And you started yelling at them. They'll literally yell at them.
The violence, drug use, theft, and harassment is a hard hit to business. For years, 7-Eleven has played classical music outside through these speakers, trying to deter the homeless from sleeping there overnight.
But it didn't work. There was always homeless people outside.
Now, with new property ownership, the landlords are playing high-pitched sounds, and apparently, it's kind of working.
There's still 1 or 2 people sitting here or sleeping in the night, but instead of 7, 8, 10 people, it's just 1 or 2 people.
We reached out to Mayor Ted Wheeler to get his reaction on how it's gotten to this point. His office said, "We're balancing the right of people to use public spaces with the rights of businesses who want to create safe spaces for their customers."
Tear gas, Teddy, how did that work out for you? I'm asking for a friend. What could go wrong? We're balancing the right of people to use public spaces with the rights of businesses who want to create safe spaces for their customers. And that, my friends, is how we got to downtown Portland being the #1 most vacated downtown commercial area in the United States. Downtown Portland has some of the least recovery in the U.S. It's the most unrecovered commercial market in all of North America. It's had massive, massive devaluations of its buildings. And it's because of stuff like this. You can't run a business when you've got Tear Gas Teddy saying we're balancing the right of people to use public spaces. You mean by crapping on the sidewalk? By not having their pants on and having taken a dump, which I witnessed, going over the threshold into that store? Into that, 45-degree angled door going in on the corner. Not a 90, half of that, 45, I think so. I'm no mathematician, just a real estate guy. But yeah, balancing the right of people to use public spaces with the rights of businesses who want to stay in business. And that did not happen for 7-Eleven. Corporate said, nope, we gotta go. Let's finish out here.
The mayor's office says they recognize some areas are more challenging than others. Portland, 𝗧𝗜𝗠𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗬
I mean, so this is not new. This is not new. This is, owners are doing whatever they can. And what is crazy about all this is that this should not be happening, because in other cities, this is not happening. You allow this to happen. And the politicians in the big blue Democrat progressive cities look around and go, big city problems. And you look at other cities and you go, not necessarily. It's all based on, your approach to these issues, your approach to homelessness, your approach to mental individuals, your approach to crime, your approach to drug addicts. Just keeps going. And in the big progressive cities, yeah, they don't stand a chance. They've already been overrun. And this is what constituents are left to do, which is basically battle it out in their own parking lots, battle it out in their own garages, battle it out in their own carports. Owners of a Westchester business, which is just to the north of the Los Angeles airport, have taken matters into their own hands as they try to deter homeless encampments from sitting outside of their store. Robert Munoz is the general manager of the warehouse where management had the Blue Chirper speaker system installed outside of their business in August. It's a 6-speaker system that pumps out loud noise all day long. Sounds like we're transmitting is the sound of nature, Munoz said. Crickets, cicadas, cicadas. That's that sound, right? That kind of stuff. Well, in the South, I love hearing those. Hawaii, I love hearing those. Australia, love hearing those. But not the sound that dude had coming out of the Blue Chirper. They say that security cameras have captured the moments that people living in a nearby RV encampment have deliberately started fires, thrown syringes, and used drugs over the fence, and even attacked Munoz outside of the business. Munoz said that they decided to have the system installed last summer after they saw a CBS News LA report, that's one of the ones we watched, on the Blue Chirper's utilization in an apartment complex. That's what we watched. My understanding is as long as it's under 75 decibels and it's transmitting the sound of nature, there's nothing anybody can do, and especially the homeless encampment, he said. Some other tenants in the area say that the constant sound has been a nuisance. Meant to be. And that's where I would have a hard time. It's like, okay, but can the residents hear it? Probably not as well. You're in a concrete structure down there with that apartment complex, right? Kind of in a little bunker. Are you going to be able to hear it? If you got your window open, yeah, and you're upstairs somewhere there, probably. It's been a nuisance, leading to the departure of a taco truck that has worked in the area for decades. They say that they've tracked the sounds at over 90 decibels at times. Okay, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Yeah. Is it illegal? I mean, it sounds like they're going over it just by a scooch, but in reality, that's the crazy thing. That's the absolute crazy thing. Here's another really good example of a business owner in Portland, Pearl District in Portland that's been overrun with homelessness. Pearl owner pitches tent outside City Hall about 15 feet from the door, which he said, hey, you've got this new overnight stay homeless shelter going in outside of his business. And he estimated that the homeless would bring their tents to within about 15 feet of his business front door. So he set up a tent about 15 feet away from City Hall, Portland City Hall. Business owner pitches tent outside City Hall in protest over homeless shelter, is arrested and jailed. So city officials are arresting and jailing business owners for trespassing, but the actual homeless, I mean, they're saying they're going to arrest them in Portland, but this is Portland. Nobody's doing anything except arresting and making it a nightmare for those trying to make a point that, hey, the Pearl District has undergone some degeneration, it's had some depreciation. There are some concerns. There's a lot of work to be done. How about all those nice things? It's become a difficult area for businesses based on the homeless crazies and drug-addicted population. They can't run their business. They're being run out of town. So they're doing stuff, but it's not going to have much of an impact other than just, hey, we're here. We're getting hammered on. And what are city officials doing? They're arresting the guy making a point. Because, we can't have somebody criticizing our homelessness. We can't have that at all. That's not good. That's not good. So it's another example of leadership absolutely failing. You can have crazy people running around doing their thing, drugs galore, stealing from wherever. And who gets arrested? Yeah. The guy trying to make a point with the tent, trying to stay outside of City Hall. Oh, no, you're done. People living in RVs, we're back to LA now. People living in RVs along the encampment say the speakers have disrupted their nights. Okay, I think that's probably the whole point to it, isn't it? Yeah, you're going to have a hard time sleeping because you're not supposed to be sleeping there. You're supposed to be sleeping in a shelter, but you're not. So, I think the term is beggars can't be choosers, correct? Yeah, am I right? Now, these are shenanigans of the highest level when the homeless think that they have rights to live on a public street just wherever, totally avoiding the law, which they can do because numbers, there's so many of them in Portland. There's so many of them in Los Angeles. I think there was, 43,000 in Los Angeles alone. 187,000 in California. California has 12% of the population in the United States, but it has 27% of the homeless numbers. I mean, it really swings for those numbers as far as, we got a lot of homelessness. I have medical issues. I can't sleep. I can't do anything, said Vern Brooks. I mean, this is ridiculous, talking about living in an RV and having the Blue Chirper. Warehouse management says that as soon as the encampments are gone, they plan to shut the system off. So yet another way that concerned citizens, are having to take matters into their own hands because local officials won't do anything. They just won't do anything because, like we heard from Tear Gas Teddy, we're trying to balance these. Well, you can't. You can't balance a bunch of nut jobs on drugs, stealing from the community, selling back to the community out on public streets. You've got that going on, you're going to have these issues, and you're going to have somebody making the Blue Chirper. You're going to have somebody pouring motor oil out. You're going to have somebody playing loud classical music. I think it was a homeless encampment here in Washington. It was on Highway 99 where all the ladies of the evening are. Are we even supposed to say that anymore? Is that even a term? Prostitutes? Yeah, I don't think we're supposed to say that on YouTube because we're supposed to ignore reality. Everything's great. It's all awesome. 2 thumbs up. It's great. But hey, let's use loud insect noises to scare off the unscarable homeless who congregate in areas they shouldn't because we've allowed them to. And by we, I mean the officials and those who voted those officials into office. LA, these are some of your own problems because you voted these people into office and you've built that infrastructure. They've come and now you're stuck with them. Now you're stuck with them. Invariably, wherever your homeless population is, and I don't know the actual numbers on Los Angeles, but like San Francisco and Portland and Seattle, typically more than 50% and oftentimes more than 60% of the homeless didn't come from that city. They migrated from somewhere else because they migrate to where you've got services, where you've got shelters, where you've got people handing out stuff. LA, you got great weather. Might be a little bit hotter now. You got some great weather. Much easier to be homeless in LA than it is in Seattle. And from a weather standpoint, Seattle's not an easy go for 9 months out of the year. It's rainy. Your tent's going to be wet. You're going to have mold, you're going to have nothing's going to be dry for about 9 months out of the year. And that's why, it's a tough go. In California, Venice Beach, homeless, talk about a great environment. Just a stellar environment. You got restrooms right on the beach. Who doesn't want that, right? Who doesn't want that? Local officials doing that battle. Yeah, you've got German and Venice covering it. This stuff is it's ongoing. It's ongoing. And there's no end to it in sight because until you are willing to incarcerate people, until you are willing to involuntarily commit people to mental institutions, until you are unwilling to involuntarily commit people to detox, to addiction treatment, you got nothing. You got nothing. This is just going to keep on going. It's just like, here we are. We're on the merry-go-round, shenanigans for days. And that's what these big blue cities have. And everybody's like, let's do the Blue Chirper. All right. Now, one more thing we can add to our arsenal. My personal favorite was the fog machine to deter people from criminal acts happening to their businesses. Now, if they break in and we light up or we make the fog machine, just give them a big foggy environment, they're not going to know where they are and they're just going to leave. That didn't really take off, did it? No. The Blue Chirper sounds like it's legal. Sounds like, well, with the exception of, if we just turn it up to 11, see how that goes. And so, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this one turns out. Thanks so much for being here. I'd love to have you subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Share with friends and family. It's a great way for our algorithm to get picked up. Thanks in advance, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.